2020 is here, and I want you to be ready with an Instagram strategy that'll help you grow your dietitian private practice. I'm Libby Rothschild, founder of Dietitian Boss. Now, I want you to go into 2022 with a solid Instagram strategy that helps you get leads and really feel confident about attracting clients that you can serve in your dietitian private practice. If this type of content feels helpful and relatable for what you're working towards right now, I want you to subscribe and like this video below so that I know what kind of content to keep creating to keep you motivated on your path to start and grow your private practice. The first tip to create consistent content in your dietitian practice includes connecting with your followers. Now, you might know it's not all about the number of your followers, and where the follower number can help because that can indicate that you have more people who are ready and interested in the community that you create. That can be a sign. That doesn't mean that a lower follower amount of engaged people won't help you build your business and help you generate revenue in your private practice. So keep in mind that you want to focus on the quality just as much as the quantity. So with that being said, engaging with people in your existing following is a great strategy for you to build your practice and develop a better content strategy. I'm going to share what I mean in two examples. Now, the obvious example for engaging with existing followers might be to reach back and share some love. If somebody has liked your content, or they've sent you a DM, or they've attempted to reach out to you in some capacity, you want to return that favor and show them that you appreciate that and appreciate their work too if they've got a public account. And try to develop a meaningful connection. Now, don't force it if it doesn't fit, but if there is some congruence, you can really show back the appreciation. The less obvious idea for you to develop a better content strategy on social and appreciate your followers would be to identify people in a like-minded or similar area of expertise and regularly engage with those people. And that might look like watching their stories, DMing them, liking and commenting on their content, truly engaging meaningfully with their body of work. Now, you typically want to pick people that are within your area. So if you're an IBS, it could be other IBS practitioners, it could be practitioners, it could be doctors, it could be people within the space that you're operating in. So you want to keep in mind who would be the people that you're going to connect with. And it can change with time, but having those specific people in mind is strategic, and ideally, it could be ideal clients as well. And how this relates to content is that the more you're talking and listening to what people who experience the problem or the pain that your ideal client does, or they work with the problem or pain that your ideal client does, the types of dialogues that you're going to have are going to help translate into your content. If you're hearing things that you can put into your content from the conversations you're having that are relevant, that can actually up your content strategy and help you resonate publicly with more people. So if you've got a private DM about a topic related to IBS based on the season, and you translate that into your content strategy, maybe turn that into a reel, talk about it on a story, that can be a great way for you to double down on engaging with followers and then turning relevant conversations into marketing materials, into marketing assets. The second tip with creating consistent content in your dietitian private practice is to be unique. Now, this is what many of you actually struggle with the most, and this is what I'm very good at. One of my specialties is branding and helping you articulate and discover who it is that you want to position yourself as and how you want to set yourself apart. There's a lot of layers to this conversation. And so for purposes of this example today, I want to talk about a physical trait and a personality trait. And oftentimes we want to step back and think, what is it about us that we can leverage? So maybe for some people it's obvious. They've got, purple hair or red hair or something that's more rare. Where for others, maybe there's a physical trait that's less obvious. Take a moment to reflect on yourself. So for a lot of our clients, they might decide that part of their branding is based on living in a larger body, or maybe leveraging their culture. So some aspect about them that they really weave into their branding. And so there's a lot of our clients that will talk about living in a medium or larger or small body, different types of bodies, and how that affects and impacts their relationship with food and how they can help you find food freedom as well. And they'll talk about that and show that in their content strategy, and that's really resonating. For me, one of my physical traits is my freckles. And in the past, I have covered them up. More recently, in looking at what makes me unique, I believe that having freckles and being able to show them with the least amount, no foundation or just, slight little concealer here and there is a great way for me to stand out so that you remember me freckle face and all. And so I want you to take an opportunity to think about what makes you unique that you can double down on to help you physically stand out that relates to your brand. Second thing is personality. So think about what is it about you that is part of who you are and it's just ingrained. Now, personality tests are not essential at this point, but they definitely will be and can help. A lot of our clients in our executive program, we discuss personality tests. We actually can help you take them and translate them and even leverage personality tests with your team to help you develop a better culture and really understand people. It's a very high level, emotional intelligence, interpersonal skills for you to really dive into. And that's something for you to look forward to. Now, at this level, you just want to think about your personality. Are you identified as friendly, inspiring, serious, sarcastic? However people see you, you want to leverage that aspect of yourself. One of the tests, if you are going to take one, that I love is DISC. My DISC profile is 89, 86, 8, 18. So I'm high DI. And what that means, D is driven and direct, and I would be influence, people skill, all those types of things. And then the S is systems, which is my biggest weakness, but I've got staff members that help me with that. And then C would be like compliance, etc. So I'm much higher, very out of balance with the D and the I. And what that means is I've got a very direct personality, and I like to be in the realm of influential and people skills and all those types of things. So in knowing my personality, and I've always been like that, I've definitely always been direct. I like to lead with that, and I've had a lot of feedback from my clients saying that they really appreciate that I am able to be direct with them. I'm direct in my education, I get to the point, and that's who I am and how I position myself. I'm also highly empathetic, so much to the point where if someone's crying around me, I tend to hormonally just I can't help it. I start crying. I remember a story. A good friend of mine had delivered a beautiful, healthy baby, and her mom came to visit, and they were bathing the newborn, and her mom was very emotional and started crying and said she was so happy her daughter had delivered a healthy baby. And she came to us with tears filled in her eyes. And at the moment, her tears made me cry, because I'm not empathetic. So I really care about people. I'm also a businesswoman, so I balance that empathy with making sure that we have process and logic all in check. Actually, a good friend of mine told me one of my skills when I was asking some good friends about what stands out about me and what they think about how I make an impression upon them, he had said my ability to balance logic and emotion was actually one of my greatest assets. So I will say, very direct to the point. I'm also expressive and appreciative, and I am empathetic. And leading with that, as a founder, as an entrepreneur, knowing who I am helps me better communicate with staff, helps me better communicate with my clients, and helps me be a better educator and know my space. Right? I'm not whimsical, I'm not airy, I'm very direct. And again, I soften that with my empathy, but that is who I am as a human, and that's what I lead with, because that's how I provide strategy into this world, and that's how I approach situations. So I want you to reflect on what personality traits you have that are going to help you be unique and stand out, because when you're creating content on social media, you are going to have an easier time connecting a personality trait with a visual, with a video, with text, if you're aware of how that all fits and how you can package that. There's no wrong answer. It's not bad to be sarcastic. It's not bad to be funny. It's just authenticity, right? And that story of how you want to craft that narrative. And that's a beautiful journey to take, and that's definitely something our team can help you with. That's part of my proprietary system, the Dietitian Boss Method. So if you're in a place where you're serious and you feel like you've gotten something from these videos, but you want something more, I do encourage you to apply to work with me. And someone from my team, me or an associate, will hop on a call and talk to you about next steps based on how you fill out your application. So make sure to hit that application from the description box below if you would like more poignant support in your journey. The third tip to creating consistent content includes showing your face. Now, when in doubt, and if you're feeling uncomfortable or insecure about that process, you can start by doing selfies, taking selfies a couple times a week. You can start leveraging video, and the significance of showing your face includes people's ability to remember who you are. It's the cheapest, fastest way to differentiate. And I've had clients recently in this last week. We had a client who showed her face for the first time and created her first reel. And within one business day, she had 2 people sign up for a discovery call with her to join her nutrition coaching program. And I have so many stories like this. In our podcast, you can listen to our clients' journeys. And some of our clients here that I've had on YouTube, and I've talked about them and shared their testimonials, have been able to achieve that same outcome of not only sales, but helping build their brand and build thought leadership and stand out, and in turn impact more people because they've been able to connect by showing up and showing their face. And it's something that you can do too. And there's a lot of fear and anxiety and vulnerability around showing your face, including, is it possible to show my face too much? And then we've had some clients say, I've gained weight, will people judge me? Or I look silly, do I sound young? We have people insecure about accents and all types of things that are actually strengths, because anything about you that's unique and that doesn't, sound or look as familiar as what people are used to is exactly why people are going to want to work with you and not your competition. So you want to make sure that you're taking that imperfect action and developing the courage to stand up and show up. And you don't have to wear a lot of makeup. You don't have to have professional photos. It's okay if the situation and the lighting isn't perfect. Nobody cares if you have a pimple. People really care ultimately that you hear them, you see them, and you understand their problems. And the best way to do that is showing up and showing your face. Now, if you're feeling insecure about it, but you're willing to give it a shot, go ahead and tag us on Instagram. Use the hashtag #ShowYourFace and tag us at Dietitian Boss for accountability, so we know you're taking that action towards building trust with your audience. Because believe me, they want to see you. The fourth tip is to consider what content you're posting and the variety. Make sure that you're not only providing your community with just the problem you're solving or the topic, although that's important. You want to add some variety by adding personal elements of your branding to your messaging. And so what that might look like is that you're showing up and showing your face, or you're sharing some parts of your life. It could be a marriage, it could be an anniversary, it could be a holiday, something with your children. You can also just talk about the seasons changing. You can do a selfie and reflect on one of your favorite TV shows or a book you just read. There's a lot of ways to do this to add and humanize your brand, and you want to do this regularly. And that's going to mix things up, because oftentimes I see a lot of our clients or even people in this space of food freedom say things like stop dieting, stop dieting, stop dieting, and where that's a great start and that's important, and that is drawing a line in the sand, very clear. If that's the only thing I see, or a potential person who wants to purchase your services, if they only see that on your feed, and they're not really clear how you stand out from the thousands of other practitioners that are saying the same thing, that's not good. So you want to differentiate that saying of, diets don't work, diets, forget about dieting or give up dieting, or anything around that. It's just an example. Anything around that philosophy, that line of thinking, you want to humanize that by either sharing stories, vulnerability, or sharing pictures of your dog and adding in some human aspects. And that's really going to be a great way to add variety within that the specificity of talking about the pain points and the problems and the frustrations that your ideal client struggles with. if you want an example of how to differentiate the stop dieting philosophy, our client, Dr. Kira, is a fantastic example. So what she's done is she talks about, stopping dieting, but she infuses her culture. So she helps Black people as a Black nutritionist, and she relates to them and uses that messaging about decolonizing your plate to help people in her community understand and identify how to give up dieting so that they can find food freedom. And her messaging is, she does a great job of hitting all the topics I spoke about with her content. She shares her message regularly, and she also shows pictures of her pregnant, pictures of her family, pictures of, her celebrating Christmas, pictures of her traveling, reflections and selfies. So she adds in those human elements within her messaging, and then she also makes sure that her message alone stands out and how it's different and unique from other food freedom practitioners in her space. Another example would be our client Carol, who's in the weight loss space. Now, there's a lot of weight loss practitioners, and instead of saying, calorie count or however, whatever solution your specific message focuses on, hers is vegan. Hers is a vegan dietary pattern. Carol doesn't just say, lose weight, go vegan, lose weight, go vegan. She is able to add personal stories. She uses different types of posts. She leverages reels and shows her face. She uses attitude and personality, which is really fun. And she uses side-by-side comparisons. And so she's teaching about plant-based vegan dietary patterns in different ways and humanizing her connection, as she's also advocating for weight loss and plant-based and weaving in some ethics in her messaging as well. So those are two really good examples of our clients who differentiate in both spaces that you could perceive as saturated, but they found a way to stand out and use a content strategy that helps them differentiate and show their face and use video. So really good examples. If you're feeling inspired and you want some more information about how to create consistent content in your dietitian private practice, I want you to check out this video to learn more and then learn stories from your colleagues here. I post new videos every Monday. We'll see you next time.